Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the All-American Savage Show podcast. I am your host, John Burke. Appreciate you being here with you this morning. A lot of news to cover. A lot of things have been occurring in the mainstream media in regards to the Ukrainian conflict overseas involving Russia. We want to say thank you for being here, but first, before we get started, this episode is brought to you by ShellShockCBD.com. We appreciate your love and support over there. If you want to show some love to the show, come over to the Twitch channel. You can subscribe over there to help support the show, or you can visit us at ShellShockCBD.com. We have a lot of great products to choose from anything to helping with your sleep, your anxiety, your stress, or if you're needing that feeling of just that high feeling to feel good or pain management, we've got you covered. It's over at ShellShockCBD.com, and code Burke can save you 10% or will save you 10% on all purchases that you make. Don't forget tomorrow night at 7 p.m. CST, the return of the Drunken Debates. Only here on Twitch. It will only be filmed on Twitch. There will be no Facebook or YouTube. It is Twitch only. So if you're looking for a great conversation to be had about the Ukrainian conflict and hearing the opinions from the other side of the aisle going against conservatives, it's a great intellectual show to tune in on. Lots of great opinions, many of which you probably will disagree with. But if anything, it gets you to see the opposite side of the aisle's perspective, which is not always a bad thing to at least see and understand. So that's the whole purpose behind it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be having some drinks, and it's going to be a really good time. So again, that will only be on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/TheJohnBurke. You can download the Twitch app and then follow me at TheJohnBurke. And we really appreciate all the subscribers, all the bits and donations on Twitch and on YouTube. We're very grateful for that. All right, so I want to get into this. There's been so much that's been happening. I had to take a personal day yesterday, just kind of recharge the batteries. But we've seen what has been progressing over in the Ukraine right now. We saw last night that there was massive firefights around the nuclear plant there, and apparently it's been fine. They managed to put out fires and things such as this. But the issue that I take right now is that we've hit the point now where there is an overwhelming amount of misinformation coming left and right and being thrown at people to the point where we don't know what to believe and what not to believe. And I can't blame any single person out there for sharing misinformation that they did, because I mean, who's fact checking this? And the fact checkers that we've had on social media were basically opinion-based fact checkers employed by Facebook, so you cannot rely upon them. But essentially, it comes down to, how can you make an informed decision when you don't have all the facts? It's impossible. So we're being given things that we don't know if it's true or not. And again, I'm seeing more and more cries for America to get involved in the Ukrainian conflict. And as it stands now, I am still adamantly against America committing any troop presence over there, or to include airspace presence. I understand that we are backing our NATO allies as best we can, and that's why I posted on Instagram and Twitter how I think Biden is doing. And in terms of the Ukrainian issue, I think Biden is doing it right. He is backing our NATO allies, but the issue I have with that, though, is to make sure that America is not doing the majority of the heavy lifting here. Because, again, anytime NATO gets involved, America's going to be at the forefront. America is one of the biggest superpowers out there. So if NATO gets involved in something, you better believe it's going to bring in a lot of American money and American troops. Biden's already sent 7,000 troops over there, last I heard, to support the NATO 40,000 they have ready to go. That's the issue that I take, is that I don't want America doing all of the heavy lifting in the name of NATO. That's a problem. Now, the other issue that I see, we have, and I'm going to get to these articles here in a second, we got Senator Lindsey Graham out there being a complete fucking moron. If America, I had a very extensive conversation with Congressman Crenshaw this morning. I'm going to see if he wants to come on the show and discuss it / debate it later in the future, and I hope he does. He's got some good points I don't agree with. If America, and ladies and gentlemen, you need to listen when I'm telling you this, okay? I'm not trying to scare people when I say a World War III. That's not what I'm trying to do. I sincerely hope we do not get involved into a World War III. But if you think that the parameters are not being put in place that could easily escalate into a World War III, you are sadly mistaken. And that's why this issue is so crucial. It took a Serbian assassination to bring about World War I. It took Hitler invading Poland to bring about World War II, and then us getting hit in Pearl Harbor. And I know there's a lot of things that are involved in that. You look at Yemen, you look at the Middle East. It's not hard to escalate into a conflict. But the difference here is the one thing that people are not paying attention to, it's not Russia. It's China. It's China. That's why I titled this podcast episode, Crouching Russia, Hidden China. China's the source of this. If China throws its hat in the ring, it is global war. But I don't think they will. But the thing that worries me is if it gets to push to the point where they have to. Russia pushing into the Ukraine, it's wrong. It's wrong. I get it. But I'm telling you, the media is manipulating it. The women and children are dying. And I'm not condoning that. But I want to appeal to your sensibility if you're listening. What about the women and children, or the children being recruited over in Africa to be soldiers? What about the women being stoned to death in the Middle East? What about the genocide in China? What about Yemen? What about Tibet? What about these other countries out there where there's clear violations of freedom and democracy that actually never even existed in the first place in many situations? What about them? Do they matter? Well, if they do, then why haven't you been speaking out against that? Because the point that I'm trying to make here is we are all being manipulated into caring about an issue that nobody gave a fuck about before. This is media manipulation at its finest. So if you are really so caring about the women and children that are dying over there, why have you not given a fuck about the rest of the world? Or do we only care about what the press tells us to care about? Or you could be like me and say, hey, better them than us. Oh, well, that doesn't sit right in many of your fucking opinions, right? Why? Because you're being conditioned into this globalist mindset that social media has helped usher in. When the fuck did we care about women and children from other countries that we had nothing to do with? Does it suck? I'm not saying it doesn't. It's wrong. It's disgusting. But it's not something I want to send American children over there to go fight. I'm not. The parameters have been set. And here's the other thing that many of you don't seem to understand. If we commit troops, we're there permanently. Iraq, the Middle East for 20 fucking years, Korea, Germany, other places around the world, Japan. And we have a committed troop presence. And the reason that bothers me is if those countries ever get involved in an issue, by proxy, we are too. It's very dangerous. America has expanded just like the Roman Empire, and we will fall if we do not stop this. The more that we put our fingers into these other nationalist pies, it means the more we have to commit to it. America needs to pull back, and I understand having a very strong foreign affairs opinion. I understand that. I get it. And we can support our allies to an extent. But the moment that we commit any troop presence in Ukraine means that now Russia or America has initiated a way for Russia to have an aggressive attack against Americans, which is going to pull America into this war completely. We do not need a Middle East 2.0. We don't need it. And by the way, all the fucking women and children that were dying, after 2014, where were you when Ukraine was shelling its own people? Where were you then? Women and children. You didn't fucking care because the press didn't tell you to care. This is not a black and white issue, folks. This is not so simplistic. It's not Russia bad, Ukraine good. It's picking the lesser of two turds here. And people don't seem to understand this. But you're wanting to send like troop presences, and I don't mean you as in the viewers or the listeners, but it's these idiots out here calling for war. Strike against Russia. Are you fucking kidding me? You strike at Russia, that's an aggressive act of war. That is open war on Russia. And if you think China will not get involved, you're out of your goddamn mind. We have NATO. What happens if China and Russia and other countries form their own alliance? What then? And I think they already have, quite honestly, behind closed doors. I think they have. If you think for 1 second China is not at the root of what's going on over there, you're out of your goddamn mind. I had to get that off my mind. I had to get that off my chest because holy hell. I posted on Instagram this morning. There are so many people out there calling for war. You don't seem to understand. There are secondary and tertiary rippling effects that will occur if we push into Ukraine. Because now we got to deal with the fact there are still many Russian loyalists on the other side of Ukraine. Did you know that there's actually Ukrainians fighting Ukrainians right now? Did you know that? MSM's not going to report that. Oh, absolutely. There are Russian loyalists over there, right now, fighting back against their fellow Ukrainians because they don't want to be a part of NATO. They like Russia. But the press isn't going to tell you that because we have to be united as Ukrainians to give off the perspective, to give off the impression that it's good versus evil. This is a fucking mess. And the best way we can go about it is we stand back, we give NATO some of the tools of what they need and say, you go handle your issues. Because the moment we get involved, we are involved fully. And the other point is, even if we do get involved, and let's just say we do, ladies and gentlemen, There are so many things to take into account here. If you think that Russia sent their best troops to the border of Ukraine because all these casualties are taken, we don't even know if it's true or not. We don't know. The press is spinning everything. There's Russian propaganda. There's Ukrainian propaganda. There's UN propaganda. There's America. We don't know what the facts are. But if you really think that Putin sent his best forces to that Ukrainian border, you're out of your goddamn mind. You're out of your fucking mind. You do not send your best in right off the first wave. It doesn't happen. He thinks that I think he undermined. He thought Ukraine wouldn't be able to put up as good a fight as they have. Putin is not somebody that I want to be afraid of, but certainly don't underestimate him. Do not underestimate this man. I've been screaming this from day one. This man is fucking smart. He's not stupid. So for everybody out there saying, well, we could take Russia in a war, could you take Russia and China in a war? I'm not saying we can't, but that's what's going to come involved. And if you think there won't be nukes involved, you're out of your fucking mind. That's what it could escalate to. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. It could escalate to that. Now, the other point that I want to make is that if we push into Ukraine, we commit troops, and say like we do take back Ukraine, are we going to keep a troop presence? We probably will, to help make sure that democracy reigns supreme. But again, Ukraine is not a pro-freedom country. They say they are. They didn't even arm their citizens until the very end. These are issues that you need to take into account. But here's the point that I'm trying to make. If America gets involved, for 20 years, we're talking about military force on force, a fight like we haven't seen in a very fucking long time. We didn't have this kind of fight in the Middle East. It wasn't tank on tank. At the beginning it was, but our technology overpowered them. But then it turned into a guerrilla warfare, and it will do the exact same thing over in Ukraine. They're doing it right now. The issue that I take is, do you really trust our political leaders to make the right military strategy calls to do this war in Ukraine? Because for 20 years, we had our hands tied in the Middle East, and we got fucking just shit on by our politicians over in the Middle East because we couldn't fight that war the way we needed it to be fought. Because I'm going to tell you this right now, and you don't want to hear this, America, but this is 100% fucking truth. What Putin is doing right now over there, that's how war is fought. There are no fucking rules. Your goal is to win. Patton said it the same way. You blitzkrieg through those motherfuckers. You grab them by the balls and you hold on for fucking dear life. But many of you don't want to do that because you think war has a set of rules. You think the Geneva Conventions actually apply, when in reality, when it's an all-out war, they fucking don't. And our politicians handcuff our soldiers that have to make life and death decisions on the battlefield. And if you make the wrong one, you're going to jail for life. America did not abide by the rules of warfare. We went up against the British Empire in the American Revolution. We scalped those motherfuckers. We fought to win. Do you really think we're going to fight the same way? Russia is playing dirty. That's war. There are no fucking rules. Get it out of your goddamn minds. Get it out of your thick fucking skulls. There are rules to war. Because if one country does not respect them and the other one does, now you're at a disadvantage. Case in point, the Middle fucking East for the last 20 goddamn years. You know what they would do to us over there? The Taliban knew our rules of engagement. Do not fire on a mosque. So you know what the Taliban would do? They'd shoot at us and run into a mosque. If you cannot successfully withdraw from there, then you have permission to engage. But that means you better not have any means of retreat. Well, of course you got a means of retreating. So essentially, they poke their heads out, volley fire RPGs at us, and run right back into the mosque. That's the way the game is played. It's not just this overall risk stratego operation on a map. It comes down to the nitty-gritty details that many of you don't understand. It's not just unleash the dogs of war. No, it's not. It comes with rules, and those rules cripple us 9 times out of fucking 10. There are secondary and tertiary things that people are not taking into consideration here. They're not. Now, if Russia commits any aggressive act towards America directly, then fucking go after them. I'm not saying back down from Russia, but I'm also saying if you commit troops into Ukraine, now you've opened that door to where they have no choice, and Putin will. Now we're in a war. Putin invaded Ukraine. I've talked about on previous episodes, on previous Twitch streams, this Ukrainian ordeal. It's not just the now. We look at the 2014 coup. We look at what the EU has done for years in regards to Russia. We look at the Cuban Missile Crisis and we make a comparison. America's trying to push into areas. And, I watched this thing with Ben Shapiro's stories. Ben Shapiro is so far off the goddamn mark on this. This is a war of money and resources. Because Ben Shapiro in his Instagram stories and his infinite wisdom, I normally agree with Shapiro. Well, if it's a matter of logistics, this makes no sense. Because you have all these other countries bordering Russia and they're NATO. Those other countries are 100% dependent on Russian oil. Ukraine is a 91% export to foreign countries of oil. You fucking kidding me? They may be a part of NATO, but they're withholding to Russia. Which makes the same point of the Nord Stream 2 pipeline that Germany wanted to approve. What the fuck are you doing? You are putting yourself at an economic disposition to fucking Russia. And then Trump sits there. Trump had it right. He sits there and he says to these people, what are you doing, folks? You're building this fucking pipeline and we're paying for it. Are you people smoking crack? Shapiro, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, logistically, they border Russia. I understand that. But do you really think that fucking Russia's afraid of these small little countries? Holy fuck. He whipped the shit out of Georgia in 2008. Like a blip. And that was Georgia fucking flexing because they thought they had the EU on their back and they got knocked on their fucking ass. You're out of your goddamn minds. And this is not painting Putin as if he's the good guy. Everybody's bad in this situation. The point that I'm trying to make is they're going to send your sons and daughters for this bullshit. These corrupted governments going at it with each other. For what? Like, really dig into this. Really dig. If there is a time that we actually did our research, it's now. The Ukraine is not all good and Russia is all bad. There's a lot of bad in Ukraine too. But suddenly, hey, get it on camera. Get it on camera. The women and children dying. It sucks. I get it. What happened to America first? That's part of it. Did you think it was just economically? Fuck no. America first means there's going to be shit all over the world that happens that does not concern us. But the bigger we become, the more we get involved, the more we expand, the more we do this shit, the more we pull ourselves into this. Pull back and let it fucking happen. Strengthen our borders. Let's work on our fucking issues first. It's the flight mask idea or the air mask idea. You cannot effectively help somebody else until your mask is on there. No, you can do both realistically, but holy fuck, we have a crisis at the southern border here, ladies and gentlemen. We've got fentanyl flowing over left and right. We've got more and more people coming over and jumping on welfare. It's becoming a burden on the economy. We've got inflation at what is it, 9% now? Still 8%? 10%. Jesus Christ. We got gas prices going through the roof. Why the fuck are we not drilling it home? Biden gets sit there in the State of the Union where he's jerking himself off.
Scumbag politicians.
Scumbag politicians again. We've got more than enough capabilities of weaning ourselves off of foreign oil dependency. Hey, guys, I've called for OPEC to release 60 more million barrels of oil. Hey, cool, Joe. That's a short-term fix to a long-term problem. If you really want to hit Russia where it hurts, get us off their fucking oil.
Yeah, we were energy independent
under Trump. And what was like when Trump left office, average cost was like $1.80 a gallon.
Yeah, it was
now it's almost 4, and in certain parts of California, it's jumped up to almost 8. Are you not understanding now, America? Are you not understanding now the economic outcomes of some of these things that we're getting involved in now?
So all these scumbag politicians who have money wrapped up.
They're sitting on boards.
Energy,
they have, 100%. Their portfolios are going through the fucking roof.
Oh, yeah.
Look at Lloyd Austin.
They love it.
Oh, they love this shit. Lloyd Austin was an ex-fucking board member or chair member of Raytheon.
Yep.
And then he steps down to assume SecDef. You really think this dude's not? And then government just awarded them with another fucking contract.
Payouts. It's payout time. They missed out on 4 years, so now they're making up for that. Right?
It's insanity to me. That's fucking
what it seems
insanity.
Like to me. It seems like they're just making up for the 4 years that they lost out on their portfolio.
Oh, their shit's growing, man. Their shit's fucking growing. And here's the thing, though. Man. If I was an investor right now, I would 100% be investing in energy right now. 100%.
Hell yeah.
There's money to be made there. But when our sitting politicians that have influence over fucking government contracts and foreign affairs over there are getting involved in it and they're holding stock in this, bro, you got to be out of your goddamn mind. That's why I disagree with Crenshaw. It's like, I don't think it should. Yes, it is. It 100% is. We're seeing it firsthand right now. And even if a lot of them aren't, the possibility is there. Remove that possibility. Christ almighty. All right, let's get into it. We're going to skip this day in history. There's just too much to cover. All right.
Can we just briefly talk about how Joy Behar fell?
It's a damn shame she didn't break her fucking neck.
Oh, my God.
Fuck that cunt.
I've watched that about 85 times now.
I was sitting there watching. It's like, did she really get hurt? No. Oh, well, whatever. I don't give a goddamn about her. I'd actually listened to this speech.
I just love saying it.
Posted by a friend. That'll get me on a different tangent. Let me just stick to what we're talking about now.
All right.
I've already talked about Ben Shapiro's take. I disagree emphatically with Shapiro. I 100% disagree with this. Just because there's other countries that line the border of Russia, then we should just suddenly get involved with Ukraine? Get the fuck out of here. No. Absolutely not. All right. For those that don't know about Lindsey Graham, this guy flip-flops more than a Taliban fucking sandal. This guy's ridiculous. He's insane. Now, this breaks down into two different points here. This is what Senator Lindsey Graham tweeted out. This is a sitting congressman. A sitting congressman said this. Now, I'm not saying what he's saying is wrong, but what I am saying is he shouldn't be the one fucking publicly saying it. You're a sitting goddamn congressman. Here it is. He tweeted out. And let me first put this in perspective. This is a tweet. This is our senator, a congressman, saying this. Okay? That's an official declaration. Not by America in whole, but you are a part of the American government when you speak. And he says, is there a Brutus in Russia? Is there a more stressful Colonel Stauffenberg in the Russian military? The only way this ends is for somebody in Russia to take this guy out. You would be doing your country and the world a great service. What the fuck are you trying to do? Bro, you're a congressman. You are calling for war. Are you kidding me? You're calling for the assassination of another country's president. You're out of your goddamn mind. And I'm not saying this necessarily, oh, don't piss off Russia. You're a congressman. Shut the fuck up. That does not help relations with trying to de-escalate the situation, which should continue to happen even as the war progresses. You never give up those peace talks. You keep going and you keep going until peace can be achieved. But shit like that ain't gonna help. And then you got this other idiot. This fucking, this Pam Keith Esquire. And she's made the news before being a dumb cunt. And she says, on 2/28, if ever there was a justification for a preemptive strike, it is right now, against a madman hell-bent on destroying the world to appease his ego. You people were saying the exact same thing about Trump.
Yep.
Trump's not getting us into this war. You said the same fucking thing about Trump. And where are we at now? Now, it blows my mind how y'all conveniently forget all the whining and crying from the Trump derangement syndrome you did for 4 goddamn years. And we had to listen to you shit and piss all over yourself like a bunch of goddamn crybabies. Oh, Trump is so bad. The economy was flourishing. We were not getting involved in this bullshit. He negotiated with the Taliban. Yes, he did. He certainly did. He negotiated a fucking ceasefire. You fucking retards don't seem to understand how stupid you are, and the majority of you fucking vote. Christ. So let me ask you, by that same logic, would you not want to negotiate with Russia right now, saying, how can we end this war to prevent more people dying? Because if we can get them to the table to talk and cease fire, that means less people dying. So wouldn't you want to do that? And the same thing in the Middle East with the Taliban, so our troops and innocent civilians aren't dying? No, because it's not you fighting, so what the fuck do you care? You just see it as a scrolling blip on CNN because so many of you didn't give a fuck about the war in the Middle East. But you shouldn't have to either because you didn't sign up to go. But I'll give you that. But how dare you sit there and accuse a man of negotiating with terrorists? That just tells me you don't know what you're talking about. The Taliban is a force to be taken seriously. They whipped our ass for 20 fucking years. Not just they, them. And that was also political issues. If we could have fought that war the way it needed to be fought, it'd been a whole lot different. They would have taken a hell of a lot more casualties. But you want to sit there and your blatant Trump derangement syndrome and your selective outrage and your cognitive dissonance, and you just play it over and over and over. And then you move the goalpost. You move the goalpost. And I'm sitting here watching this whole shit unfold. Biden talks about restricting Russian airspace or no more flights into Russia. We're banning Russia from every single thing out there. Yet, it serves my memory correctly that at the beginning of 2019? In 2019, when COVID hit, Trump wanted to close the border to China. Xenophobia, racism, and then they do it to Russia, and you're perfectly fine with it.
Yeah, are they going to do the same thing to China?
Oh, yeah, right. Absolutely not. Oh,
China
and by the way, COVID's killed more people in actual Americans than Russia has Ukrainians. So explain the logic in that one to me, because I certainly don't get it. You liberals are so fucking retarded. Your heads are so far up your goddamn ass. I don't even understand you anymore. But also, to caveat, Republicans, in this case, you're not any better. You got Lindsey Graham, a sitting senator, doing this. A fucking idiot. An idiot.
Yeah.
These are our leaders. And I am by no means any kind of expert on any of this shit. But I'm sitting here thinking, if I'm the common American and I'm looking at this and I'm seeing my senator or one of the senators out there on the GOP calling for the assassination of another president, oh my fuck me running. There are things that you and I can say because we're not sitting congressmen.
Yeah.
Our words don't have half the meaning or half the weight this dude does. Jesus. And people don't realize that. So when I posted it in my Instagram, people were like, well, he's not wrong. Yeah, you're right. He's not wrong. He's really not. But the same token, they assassinate Putin. Who's taking charge? Have any of you thought about that? Who's his number 2 man? Have any of you thought about that? No. Let's kill Putin.
I think Lindsey Graham thinks that type of language has worked for him in the past. Like,
yeah.
Oh, yeah, Lindsey Graham, he's such a badass.
Putin doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm going to show you that Putin doesn't give a fuck is look at the economic sanctions that have been slapped on him. Right now, their economy is fucking done.
Yeah.
The ruble is done. Like, you could be over there right now with what you and I are making and you live like millionaires. It's insane. And all these economic sanctions, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to starve the Russian populace to rebel against Putin. They are trying to turn his country against them. You know what Putin's going to do? He's got the military. He's got the cops. He has no problem killing his own people. None. You think that's going to turn him against him? Fuck no, it's not. He's got a war chest. We talked about it in the last episode. A war chest. And this is not me condoning or supporting Putin, but it's me explaining to people what this whole thing is about and why you sitting there saying, we assassinate Putin, it's over. No, it's not. You cut the head off of this Hydra, another one grows back. Mm-hmm. The only way to stop this is all-out fucking war. Or hear me out, NATO gets involved. If NATO wants to get involved, by all means, go to town. But that better not be involving fucking a massive undertaking of American interests or American fucking money and troops. No, I firmly disagree. If NATO wants to send a force, that's NATO's prerogative. But you should also study what NATO or the EU has done to Ukraine and Russia in 2014 and in Georgia in 2008. Go look that up, because I'm telling you, all parties involved in this got blood on their hands, to include the Biden administration, pretty much.
Oh, that's it.
They have blood on their hands in this too. In 2014, a pro-Russian government elected by the people, supposedly, was already in place in Ukraine. A violent coup and overthrowing occurred to install a pro-Western government. And if you think that's wrong, go watch previous Twitch episodes. We literally have documented evidence of voice transcripts, recorded transcripts of America, our elected officials having a recorded conversation with the UN, the U.S. UN ambassador, talking about, okay, which guy, when that coup was happening, they said, which of the two leaders of the factions, 2 different factions, is more pro-Western? Oh, it's this guy. Back him. Put him in power. If you think America had no involvement in that, you're out of your fucking mind. And why do you think we had an involvement? Because we want to make it a pro-Western country. What happens to make it a pro-Western country? Now, we can start having dealings with them right on the Russian border. How would you feel if Russia did that in Mexico? How would you feel if Russia did that in Canada? And I'm not saying Russia's justified, but I get where they're coming from. The Cuban Missile Crisis, again, you want to put nukes? You want to put shit over there right on our fucking, right close to us so you can reach us? Oh, Ben Shapiro here. What about these other countries lining the border? Ukraine is fucking huge. If it came down to it and Russia said, you better choose between us and NATO, I'm pretty sure those countries 100% relying on their oil are going to choose Russia. Majority of them which actually like Russia. Like, they kind of get the best of both worlds. They're getting Russian oil and they're getting protections from the United Nations. Like, that's the best thing you can have.
Yes, I would like cake and eat it too.
And even in 2014, Russia had even talked about a split 3-way decision. They were willing to negotiate. Mm-hmm. They wanted to see it. They wanted to see it flourish. And they said no. All I'm saying is go do your research on this, because this is so much more involved. And I've read so much. We did streams on this. I've shown the videos. And people are still heads in the goddamn sand. Mm-hmm. Let's get back to Lindsey Graham. This article comes to us.
That piece of shit.
This Breitbart. This guy needs to be, oh my God, an idiot. Ted Cruz rebukes Lindsey Graham. Exceptionally bad idea to assassinate Vladimir Putin. I haven't even read this article yet. Senator Ted Cruz rebuked his fellow Republican colleague, Senator Lindsey Graham, for calling on the assassination of Russian President Vladimir Putin. On Thursday, Graham lit the internet ablaze when he called for a Russian Brutus, a reference to famed Julius Caesar assassin Marcus Brutus, to take out Putin in an apparent call for his assassination. I read that. Graham then called upon the Russian people to rise up against Putin, lest they should live in darkness for the rest of their lives. The only people who can fix this are Russian people. Easy to say, hard to do, he continued. Unless you want to live in darkness for the rest of your life, be isolated from the rest of the world, blah, 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 blah. All right. Graham's tweet sparked heavy criticism on social media from both the left and the right, who charged the assassination of Putin, who can not only spark full-scale war with Russia, but could destabilize the country into losing control of its nuclear stockpile. This is an exceptionally bad idea. This is from Cruz. Use massive economic sanctions, boycott Russian oil and gas, and provide military aid so the Ukrainians can defend themselves. But we should not be calling for the assassination of heads of state, responded Ted Cruz. Now, Cruz is right. As long as what he's saying there as far as provide military aid doesn't go into providing actual troops to push into Ukraine. Providing them weapons and stuff like that. And even that, I'm just kind of like, fuck. We did that with the Muad'Din against Russia in the 80s. Mm-hmm. And then 20 years later, there we are in the Middle East fighting the very same people we armed with the very same weapons we gave them. You got to, do we not learn from our mistakes? Christ. Cruz was not the only one to hit back against Graham. There are other blue check who Molly Jong Fast says probably not the most responsible thing for a U.S. senator to tweet. These are just blue checks. Apparently have a lot more weight on Twitter. Joe McCarter says maybe not such a helpful thing for a senior U.S. elected official to be putting out into the world right now. And I agree with these people. I agree. Jack Pobasek says, hey, Lindsey Graham or any of these psychopaths even considered who would take over. But thank you. Didn't even see that. At least somebody else sees it. And I think Jack Pobasek, forgive me for mispronouncing that. I'm not a huge fan of his, but he's a very intelligent guy. I think he was like Navy intelligence or Marine guy. I forget. He's an intelligence dude.
He's a sharp guy.
He what?
He's a sharp guy.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of stuff. I like what he has to say. And he's intelligent. This guy's know what he's talking about on this one. You don't know who's going to, he knows, I'm sure people do, who's going to replace Putin. You cut the head off this snake, another one grows right back. Mm-hmm. And now you've just given them a reason for all-out war. Yeah. People don't seem to understand this is not so simplistic. It's not just I shoot him first, war's over. No, it doesn't work that way. It's this requires long-term strategigic thinking.
Do you think there's actually citizens of Russia that really like Putin, like a majority? Oh, yes. Like a majority of people?
I don't know about a majority, but there are a lot. Even in Ukraine, half of Ukraine is split because they like Russia. They want Russian. Yeah.
Or is it just
go look at the 2014 map? No. It was literally when the 2014 Ukrainian coup actually happened, it split. Well, I shouldn't say split. It already existed. But you remember those two towns that were pro-Russia that Putin originally wanted to invade and liberate?
Yeah.
It wasn't just those two towns. There's a lot more.
Russian speaking.
But it's a lot of integration. There's a lot of mixture. Mm-hmm. But also, they were getting shelled for years. They were getting murdered for years. There's been conflicts, and I'm not saying one's right and one's wrong, but they have had internal strife for years.
Right. Who is it for us to say what is right, what is wrong over on that side
yes,
anyway?
Exactly. That's not our beef.
Yeah.
And whether you have your own opinions on who's right or who's wrong, it's not our fight. It's like the Crips and the Bloods fighting, and then the Pokemon Yellow over here going, I'm not getting involved in that. I have nothing to do with this. I just want to go play Pokemon. That's it. Let them kill each other. But it's not so simplistic because then again, we got the Biden administration that helped bring this about. You had the EU that helped instigate this. Bro, if you think NATO and the EU and all these other people are innocent, they're not.
Yeah, there's corruption over there. Look at Biden
100%,
over there.
100%.
He got the one guy fired, the one attorney that was investigating his son for Burisma. So, there's corruption all over the place.
And then Hunter Biden sat on the board. Yeah. Guys, Ukraine has a 91% sale of oil to foreign countries. They're a mass producer. This is a war of money and resources. That's all this is. That's all this is. Ross Dunth tweets out, I'm respectfully asking Senator Graham to read the second half of Julius Caesar. He's actually got a point. For those that don't know the story, just outside of Shakespeare's play, Brutus and the rest of these people essentially were hunted down and killed. A lot of these people were murdered.
Thanks, Lindsey.
Maybe read the second half of that history that played out. Really? Because I think, wasn't it Marcus Antony that stood up and took power? and essentially hunted down all those that murdered the Caesar, and they ran. I mean, fuck, who was it that ran? Like, I think a lot of them ran, like Cicero and the rest of them ran to Egypt, got murdered over there. I probably have that not 100% on the money, but that's essentially what generally happened to a lot of those leaders that wanted to assassinate. Mark Antony stood up, and this is historical fact. So, Graham, good on you. Also, General Stauffenberg, your colonel, what happened to him? Firing squad. Like, you retards. Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
they don't care.
And this dude's like, are you pro-Russia? I'm not pro anything. I'm pro-America.
Pro-America.
And for you simpletons out there that don't seem to understand what it is I'm saying, this is not rooting for Putin or a Russian apologist. Like, a lot of you don't, you're too fucking stupid to understand that. And I cannot break it down enough for you without literally going, listen, stupid, and put your hand on my mouth so you can hear and feel what I'm actually saying. This is not saying pro-Russia. This is not saying pro-Ukraine. This is saying this whole conflict reeks to high heaven of a Middle East Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0, and I want nothing with America getting involved in it. Nothing.
That's the problem.
Here's a side you can pick. You don't have to pick a side.
Yeah.
It's a new concept, I know. You don't have to pick a side because the media wants you to. The media is wanting you to give you all this propaganda of the horrible things that are going on over there. So you, in turn, pressure your congressman to call for war. That's how it works. Every politician is a fucking populist. And when the majority of the population is saying we want to go to war, they're going to do what their population wants to say to vote for them. Well, then we got to go to war. You're being played is what I'm telling you. You don't have to pick a side. You can say, I don't want to get involved. Let them kill each other. Strengthen our borders, respect our allies, do what we can to support them, but do not get... Even Thomas Jefferson didn't want to get involved in a lot of bullshit over there. Not over there in Ukraine. We had a lot of our forefathers that were isolationists. And I'm not calling to be an isolationist to the extent that we withdraw all international agreements and shit. I'm talking about we honor our agreements with our allies to an extent, and that's the gist of it. That's the gist. You don't have to be pro-Russia and you don't have to be pro-Ukraine. Mm-hmm. You can condemn war as a whole, but at the same time say, I don't want to be an interventionalist. I am pro-America first. I am anti-war, but I am pro when you fuck with us, we strike back. It's a weird, crazy concept. I know many of you out there, your brains are literally melting in your skulls and it's oozing out your fucking ears and your nose. I know a lot of you retards that don't seem to understand what I'm saying here. You're just so adamant on picking a side. But trust me, you don't have to pick a team. You don't have to. It's entirely possible. So regardless of all the media manipulations going on right now, they want you to pick a side. You don't have to. I know that goes against what a lot of you think. We're American. Blah, 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 blah. Cool. Go fight. Go. If you feel that strongly about it, if Lindsey Graham feels that strongly about it, they got an open border through Poland, baby. Hitch the next thing fucking smoking. They will give you an AK on the ground. Go fight. You've got every single one of you, every single person in America, to include our political representatives. There isn't a single goddamn thing stopping you from catching the next thing smoking to hop over there, go pick up a rifle, and fight the Ruskies. Go do it. A lot of you will not because you want other people to go fight your wars, which is the exact same thing these politicians are doing. So what makes it right when they call for it? Please explain that to me. Because the overwhelming majority of you, 2% of the population serves, and even less than that actually saw combat. A lot of you motherfuckers have played so much goddamn Call of Duty. And I know I joke about this shit. I joke about combat stuff. But the realities of war... Majority of you that are even watching the stream, you do not know the first fucking thing about it. You don't know what an AK-747 round does to a bone when it goes through in a leg. It shatters it. You don't know what an RPG looks like when it goes through your brother and creates a fucking hole after busting through a fucking AMRAP door. You don't know what this shit looks like. You don't know the atrocities of war. And it's not me saying that so we back away from a fight. It's saying you better be damn well sure that your reasoning is 100% sound before you call for that. And it's not. If it was, if Russia struck against America, fucking hammer them. You put their fucking Russian asses to the wall and you execute those motherfuckers. But until that happens, do not bait them. Do not go in there, because if they did the same thing to us, we'd be stupid for getting involved. We'd be stupid. So no, I'm not pro-Russia, and I'm not a Putin apologist, and I'm not pro-Ukraine. And I'm certainly not pro-American government getting involved in this bullshit because it's going to be your sons and daughters, your moms and dads, your brothers and sisters, your aunts, your uncles, and your cousins marching off to war to go fight for the Ukraine, which in 2014, the Obama administration had a direct hand in that overthrow. You're fighting for a 2008 administration's fuck-up. So all you PMCs out there, you want to go fight? You're fighting for Obama and Biden right now, and you don't even realize it. But hey, you do you. You know best, right? Cool. You know all about war. Ukrainian nuclear plant update. Russian attacks released no radiation, IAEA chief says. Live updates. Last night, there was a firefight. Where was it at? Excuse me. There was a nuclear plant that I believe Russia has control now. Yeah, here we go. I'm sorry. Fast facts. Russia forces opened fire at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the largest such plant in Europe, sparking a fire which later died out Friday morning. The head of the IAEA said no radiation was released in the attack. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken arrived in Brussels on Friday for a series of meetings with allies. He'll be in Europe for a week, traveling to Poland, Moldova, Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia. Russian forces took one Ukrainian seaport and laid siege to another, continuing bombardment of the nation's two largest cities, Kharkiv and Kiev, as Russia and Ukraine battle for the 9th day. You see how slippery this is getting? You see how slippery? Well, what if Russia gets control of a nuclear? You think Russia doesn't already have nukes? Russia has nukes. And you do know that we're talking about an Iranian deal right now, a nuclear Iranian deal with Russia and America involved. Did you know that? That's currently on the table.
Oh, really?
I bet a lot of you didn't know that. It's slowly trickling into the MSM. Slowly. Do you understand now how fucking corrupt and disgusting this government is? All governments. Christ, I've spit all over my microphone. It's beautiful.
The money shot.
U.S. officials say Biden administration is sharing intelligence with Ukraine at a frenetic pace after Republicans criticize efforts. The U.S. has multiple channels open and is sharing intelligence with Ukraine at a frantic pace. Dude, we keep doing these things that are supporting them, but I'm telling you, we're eventually going to cross a line. You can only do so much. Only do so much. You got to do your fighting, man. You got to do your fighting. This is your country. You got to do your fighting. Disputing criticism that Biden administration is not sharing battlefield intelligence fast enough. Still, the U.S. secure communications with Ukrainian officials are becoming increasingly difficult to maintain as the war rages on. The sources told CNN. Officials also acknowledge that the U.S. is now more limited in its ability to collect real-time intelligence with no one on the ground, and the apparent lack of military drones flying overhead. The CIA has not acknowledged whether it is flying its own drones to survey the conflict. Sure it hasn't. Sure it hasn't. I guarantee there is CIA there now. I guarantee there are CIA agents there right the fuck now. If you think there aren't, come on. Come on. Here's the other thing that concerns me. All these PMC guys, all these private military contractors going over there. What if one of you get captured by the Russians? Now they've got an American. What position does that put Russia in? What position does that now put America in?
Do you think we'd ever know about it?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think Russia would tell us?
I don't know if they tell us or they just straight up assassinate that motherfucker and bury him in a ditch somewhere because they know if they capture an American and they publicize it, it's war.
Right.
Or
so
maybe not because, I mean, you got people like Pelosi up there.
Know about it.
I don't think we'd ever even know about it either. I think they dump them in a ditch somewhere because I would do the same thing. If, like, we're fighting a war and we catch, like, say, for example, Chinese. Well, again, we fought a proxy war in Afghanistan against China.
I don't know. We found quite a few Chinese spies in our own government. That
Swalwell was sleeping with one, yeah.
That we don't seem to even care about.
Yeah, apparently. So. How the fuck is that mouth breather still in office? You slept with a Chinese spy. At least Van Taylor has the respect enough to step down from running again. To step down. Good for you wanting your butthole licked, bro. Attaboy. Who gives a shit? And then, not to get off topic, this fucking ISIS bitch, she does this other report yesterday saying, I'm not a homewrecker. He said he loved me. You fucked a married dude. And then you kept quiet about it for 5 days. You're a fucking homewrecker. You are what you are. And she's here in Plano, too. Did you know that?
Well,
I would love to get this cunt on for a fucking interview. Like, in what world did you think you weren't a homewrecker when you're sleeping with a married man with a wife and 3 kids?
She knew what she was doing.
100%. He told me he loved me. Congrats, you're fucking stupid.
And she licked his butthole.
Well, I hope he did come on her tonsils.
Sounds like they had had done it before. But you know what? Honestly,
I don't care.
I wouldn't even care about that stuff if he was good at his job.
Yeah, and
I don't care what your personal life is.
He voted in favor of the January 6th freaking committee that Pelosi put together, which, again, that's why we're seeing all the signs around here saying Van Taylor betrayed us. Like, that guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's an idiot.
I could care less about his extracurricular
I don't
activity.
give a fuck. Because the thing that I love about that,
your job.
all the Republicans out there are clutching their pearls like, oh my God, he's the horrible. Yet Trump fucked Stormy Daniels and they still worship him like he's a god.
I know.
It's like you are very selective with your moral outrage. I'm very, or you could just do this, not give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't give a fuck. Did he fuck my wife? Did he fuck my, no, I don't give a shit.
How many people in government do you think are?
Oh, dude.
It's
everywhere. Come on.
Like that dude came to my house, seemed like a straight up.
Oh, Van Taylor?
Yeah.
Yeah. He looks like a big dork.
Yeah, I mean, but that's kind of the person you want to.
I had a buddy text me. I'm not going to tell you who it was, but
anyway.
Their kids had played together in some sports and shit. He's like, yeah, I'd went over his house. He's a really nice dude, but you can tell he's very uppity. He's very fucking elitist, and his wife is super nice, but she has all the money. He's just a. Let me just read it for you.
His face. He's a face for the. He's got that look of a congressman, I guess.
He does, yeah.
The haircut. Of course. His teeth look a little rough, but
yeah, he even said he's a fucking rhino. Talked to him a few times about Iraq, and he could tell he was all uppity.
Yeah,
he was a Marine Corps officer. You know, officers. I can't condemn all officers, but a lot of officers are uppity. They think because they have that college education, they're in charge of a lot of people. They know anything. Every second lieutenant we got essentially was like, "All due respect, sir, shut the fuck up." Our non-coms that have been multiple tours in Iraq know more than you and your little fucking books at West Point. Shut the fuck up, sir.
What was the name of his mistress?
I forget. Joya was her last name or something. She married a fucking ISIS guy. She was born in like Britain or some shit like that. Married this ISIS dude, moved to the Middle East, and then was suddenly shocked how bad she got treated. You don't sound like the sharpest fucking crayon in the drawer, lady.
No,
like you married a fucking dude that was pro-ISIS. You know what ISIS stands for. You know they're all about that terrorist violence to push more Western, more Islamic ideologies like hardcore Muslim, hardcore Islam. And then you sit there and you act surprised when you move, I think it was to Syria. It's like, they treated women horribly. Duh? What? Are you fucking stupid? It's like, hey, I'm going to go move to Russia. Hey, guys, it's cold and the economy is shit over here. Who'd have thunk? Well, you know, it's just kind of common fucking knowledge. And then she comes back and she wants to fight the establishment. Van Taylor comes like, hey, how you doing? I can help you out there if you like rim my butthole. Well, here's $5,000. And then she's like, I thought he loved me. You have a history of being manipulated by men. It's clearly apparent when you marry a terror, and that's why they call her the ISIS bride. You don't sound like you're very smart. You sound like you've been thinking with your snatch. So guess what, women? Men think with their dicks. Women can think with their snatch. Ooh,
she's trying to get ahead by
giving head,
giving a little head,
and licking some butthole. Hey, Kamala, where you at? Where's Kamala been? Like what? Wait, no, hold on. Wait a second. I just realized something. Kamala was present for the State of the Union.
Yeah.
Wasn't she sent to fucking Ukraine? What did she do over there outside of a headline? And then did you hear the piece that Kamala did on what she thought about Ukraine? Hold on. Let me look this up for. Oh my God. You guys are going to love this.
Is that Ukraine is a country?
Yes. Oh my God. It was so good. Kamala.
Sounds like a bit for for Sesame Street that you would tell the puppets.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you explain it to the Muppets puppets. Or Sesame Street puppets.
Oh, here we go. Kamala Harris mocked for childlike explanation because she doesn't know. These people are idiots. These people are fucking morons. During an appearance on the syndicated Morning Hustle radio program, Harris was asked by co-host Headrack to explain the conflict in layman's terms for people who don't understand what's going on and how this can directly affect the people of the United States. Now, again, there's layman's terms, and then there's like straight up kindergarten terms. This is what she says. So, Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. She continued, Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically, that's wrong, and it goes against everything we stand for. Oh, no, Madam Vice President. It goes way deeper than that. That's simplistic terms, but you left out a lot of shit to include your president in 2014 getting involved in this mess and helping create this mess. And here's the thing. If there had been no overthrow, there had been no coup in 2014, we wouldn't be here right now. We would not have this situation. Mm-hmm. But again, and don't tell me the CIA wasn't involved in that because they 100% were. Do not tell me they weren't. The CIA has a history of overthrowing governments and installing pro-Western governments, and it does not always work out.
Are they pro-Western though?
Oh yeah.
Are they? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
The guy that replaced, I had the names. In 2014, the guy they put in power was a pro-U.S. He was a pro-government, pro-U.S. government, 100%. That's when we started striking oil deals with Ukraine, and Hunter got put on the board of that one company. I got to look up that company.
But they're still corrupt.
Oh fuck yeah!
Right. So
absolutely. Oh no, yeah. I'm sorry.
Means they're
We definitely have to keep that in mind. Like, here's the thing:
they're corrupt.
Here's the other part, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a good indicator why. You've seen what Ukraine looks like and how they're living, right? 91. Again, I keep going back. Their resources, they export a lot. They manufacture. They should be rich as fuck. Look how their people are living.
Yeah.
Look how their people are living. A massive indicator of corruption. Massive indicator. Look at the Middle East. Look at Saudi Arabia. Look at all these places. Look how a lot of the people live. You tell me there's no corruption in that guy? Get the fuck out of here. Kamala Harris with her layman's terms. And you didn't even break it down even further than that because you know it's going to implicate you and your butt buddy, old Biden. Now, I do have to say, I posted on Instagram and Twitter. As far as Biden's handling of this, I actually approve.
He's good at doing nothing.
He's good at doing nothing. Biden's doing what Biden does best, which is, well, I mean, he's not canceling pipelines over there, at least. That's good.
He's got some other side deal he's working on.
Oh, 100%.
This is like way too much on his plate. He can't.
That's going to be the hard part, is I trying to identify Biden's plan to fix what him and Obama fucked up, as well as the EU.
That guy's such a... I mean, he's not there.
No.
You can tell he's not there from
he doesn't
his
know
state.
What's going, yeah.
Like,
he's a puppet president.
So during his State of the Union speech, he talked about prices and all this other shit, but he never once mentioned like lowering taxes to ease the burden on American citizens.
Rich people got to pay their fair share. Yeah, they already do. 41% of the taxes out there, you moron.
So we got to pay all these taxes plus lower our costs, but you still get a raise. Your budget goes up.
Yep.
So every year, all these people in government get together and decide how much they're going to raise the debt ceiling so they could spend more of our money, raise our taxes, and then we got to lower our costs.
Yep.
Okay. Now explain that to me again. Tell me how that's good for me as an American citizen who has a small business, trying to just carve out a little slice of heaven for myself.
A little slice of heaven, yeah, 100%. It almost seems like every time the federal government gets involved, they tax the fuck out of us. Yeah. The state government gets involved, they tax the fuck out of us. And you can't, good luck making headway. It's insane.
Scumbags. Yeah. Total scumbags.
But hey, we're paying fucking billions in Ukrainian aid. Paying billions. That's your money, ladies and gentlemen.
Anybody think that was a good speech?
Fuck no.
Or heartfelt speech?
It's bullshit.
You're completely gone. Yeah. You're not even savable at this point.
Democrats did their best to salvage that State of the Union. They tried. Oh, Biden is unifying America. Biden's unifying America?
Yeah, really? He talked about funding the police.
Oh, yeah.
He talked about...
I love how the internet doesn't forget that.
the border.
Yeah.
He's been saying this for fucking 50 years. Going down to the border, we get all these politicians have. They've all said the same thing. Yep. I'm surprised he didn't say that they were going to move the capital to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv.
He did fucking plagiarize Trump in that one. Did you see? You were talking about that earlier. I saw the clip that Trump talked about the price for insulin. Biden said, we're going to bring it back down. You're the one that increased it, dipshit.
You stupid idiot.
You undermined all of Trump's policies, which caused more of the problem that you're facing now. Like, you just have... This is why Democrats are so dangerous to America. They have such extreme levels of Trump derangement syndrome that they refuse to acknowledge that some of the policies Trump had were good. So rather than identify that and say, hey, guys, look, I'm sorry. I know Democrats don't like this. This policy's working, and I'm going to go with what's getting me the results.
You'll never hear that.
That's why you have shit leadership.
You'll never hear
That's why you have, if we had leaders that say, you know what, I don't like the left, but this progressive policy is getting the results that's going to better America, let's stick with it.
No, there should be no government policies. Like, the government just can't run anything.
No, they
can't. They shouldn't be in charge of anything.
And then you expect them to go over there and conduct a foreign war. Yeah. Like, fuck no.
Sorry, I don't think so.
And then they talk about how, like, you know...
Well, we got to fix childcare. Well, now... How are people supposed to pay for
what's broken with childcare? Because it's not childcare that's the issue.
I know. How
about they're charging too much? Why are they charging too much, Joe? Why are they? Because the economy is fucking shit.
You think maybe you lower the taxes?
Maybe
the gas prices.
Maybe incentivize some small businesses.
6,000%.
It's nuts. It's fucking nuts.
You stupid idiot.
Elon Musk says sends important warning to Ukrainians. He says, Like the rest of the world, Elon Musk seems to be following the Russian war in Ukraine very closely. That's why I said getting involved into something like this, bro, you've put yourself in a position to where now you're going to be looked at for military purposes from here on out because you did it in Ukraine. Anytime there's a conflict anywhere else in this world, they're going to come to you. As soon as you open that door, it's the same as like GoFundMe's on my platform. As soon as you share one GoFundMe, a million more are going to come heading your way. And then if you deny them, oh, well, you cared so much about that one.
Let me ask you something. Do you think Elon Musk is like a super genius, or was he just kind of lucky?
I think it came down to money and the fact that he knew how to recruit the right people. I think he's smart. You don't get to that level by being stupid.
I think he's smart, but like some of the things that he says, like if you set your goals to like 5 years, you know, it'll take you 5 years. But if you do it, if you set it for like 3 weeks and you can reach your goal, I'm like, is that really the? I
think
case?
it's all speculative, quite honestly. Like I mean, some people actually have just luck. Some people are just lucky. Maybe sometimes a mixture of both. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know Elon's story personally.
He had a good idea. I mean, it's working for him.
I think this move right here is a stupid move on his part. I really do.
I mean, like, absolutely, it was a stupid move on his part to get involved. Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
as far as like where he's, I don't know enough about it to really give you an educated opinion on that.
I think we as a society see these people and they start to speak up, and we're like, oh, here's a golden calf. Let's worship him because he's got all this stuff. And
well, you know,
accolades.
At the same token, though, now we have social media, which has created that. Because before, the news only covered famous figures that were like mainly based in politics that would be more outspoken. Now you've got social media that is basically giving these people such massive platforms that when they do say something, there is a lot of, like, look at Joe Rogan. 100%. Social media, even for me. Like an average Joe Schmo like me has a platform now where I can have a voice, an even bigger voice than the average person. Mm-hmm. Does it mean that we should like worship me? Absolutely not. And that's why I warn people against Trump. Not necessarily against his policy, but when Trump endorses somebody or when you go to seek Trump's endorsement, you're giving him more power. And that's not something we want. We want to decentralize, but the GOP doesn't realize that. So you got, you know, I talked about in my Instagram stories the other day, I think Marcus Luttrell's brother, Morgan Luttrell, and I don't know his politics. I have no idea. But he was running against this GOP establishment dude that had the backings of Ted Cruz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Turning Point. He was going after that Trump thing, and he lost. Good. That's what we need. We need less fucking Turning Point. We need less establishment, less of fucking GOP old school blood. Get him out of there. We need other people. Now, I hope Luttrell does a good job. I don't know what he stands for, so this is not an endorsement. But it just goes to show you that even with all these endorsements of Cruz, who's Texas, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene out of Georgia, all these people couldn't even get this guy elected because they didn't want him. Now, I don't know Luttrell, so years from now, if he does get elected and he's fucking things up, don't come back to me and say, John, I'm not telling you to vote for him. In fact, I'm not telling you who to vote for whatsoever. I never will. I have never told. I'm telling you who I'm voting for and why. But Josh and I, we don't campaign for anybody. We give our opinions. You take it for what you want. If you disagree, then disagree with it. That's fine. But I'm never going to go out and actively campaign for somebody unless I know. The only condition I would actually campaign for somebody would be Rand Paul.
Yeah,
I would actively campaign for Rand Paul because he's proven time and time again he is a true libertarian.
Yeah, he sticks by his
principles.
guns,
I respect it. Even in the face of overwhelming criticism, by and large, Rand Paul's got a better track record.
Yep.
I like the way he thinks. Outside of that, probably not. I'm not getting involved. I'll vote the way I think. And why, you know, I even called it. I said I think Abbott's gonna probably win the primary. Yeah. And he did.
That's all right.
It's still, you know, at the same token, I would have liked to see Alan West take it, but I think it was Prather and one other dude. Prather, I don't care for his politics. I think he's more in bed with religion and state being the same. I don't like that. I think he's another Turning Point guy. He's been involved with them. I don't agree with that. And Alan West, I wanted him to get that chance. I wanted him the shot because sometimes it's good to have a good, strong military leader that understands the intricacies at the southern border and the military issues going on with Operation Lone Star to actually actively help fix that issue. I don't think Abbott understands that. But it's better to see people go ahead and rally behind Abbott because, again, the things that he's done that I don't like are Operation Lone Star, which blew up in his fucking face, and then voting to raise the legal smoking age to 21. There's been some other things. Like he did enforce state lockdowns. He did. Yeah, he was wrong for that.
Right.
He just didn't last as long as everybody else. But I think that's a mistake he made once. I don't think he'll make that again.
I mean, honestly, I never wore a mask in any place that I went to. I think, I don't know if most people were like that, but
I did. I mean, I went out to eat a few times. I was like, I want fucking. That's back like when everything was shut down. I mean, the crazy part when COVID first hit is when we launched Shell Shock.
Yeah.
And we still kept working. We're like, we kept making, dude, I'm not going to lie. The drive to the fucking work was wonderful. Like heading down 75 north, 75 south, there was nobody there.
Like nobody.
It was like a ghost town. It was crazy. But we still kept working.
Yeah.
We didn't wear no fucking masks because we thought the whole thing was bullshit. Well, actually, no. I'm sorry. I take that back. We didn't. But we're also like, I'm not going to stop working. Like, I'm gonna roll the dice. Because back then,
bullshit, but at the same time, I'm like, at the very beginning, I'm like, if you're wearing a mask, why do I need to wear a mask?
Yeah, that's true.
And they're like, well, that's not how masks work. I'm like, that's exactly how masks are supposed to work. What are you talking about?
Well, then people were talking about like wearing, like if you're wearing a pair of jeans and you piss yourself, it's not going to get onto me. So why do I got to worry about it? I was like, yeah, but you're equally protected if some of that piss does manage to get through the jeans. Like, but that doesn't work.
It didn't matter anyway.
Yeah,
because we still got COVID.
I know. Yeah, we did twice.
and I got it from my wife who, because of her job, she had to wear a mask and, take all these proper. So I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you, man.
Wasn't me.
And I can't blame anybody that fell for the COVID thing. Because it's not black and white again. COVID is real. We know it's real.
Yeah.
Is it as detrimental as they say it is? No, I don't think it is. No. Because again, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, everybody that wants to quote this political data, this scientific, it's political data. This isn't scientific. It's political intertwined with scientific. This has been fabricated. There's been a lot of shit that has gone reported the wrong way. So again, if this was a true pandemic, why the fuck would the outbreak of Omicron early 2022, did you just now, or is it 2022? Omicron hit beginning of this year.
Was it this year or is it late?
Late last year, beginning of this year.
It was like November.
Omicron was supposed to come in and usher in a whole new wave of, remember when Fauci talked about this? It's way more transmissible. It's way more spreadable, guys. You're going to have to wear 20 masks. Wear a biosuit. Put 3 condoms on so you don't get it through your cock. Women, stick something up your hoo-ha so you don't get it through there. It's crazy. But again, this Omicron outbreak was supposed to be even more transmissible. And here we are.
It was more transmissible.
Yeah, but here we are in the State of the Union the day prior. They lift mask mandates. Oh, wow. It must have been so fucking bad. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. So I can't fault anybody that fell for it. But as the years progressed, if you didn't wake up, now you're an idiot. Yeah. Now you're an idiot. And there are still liberals out there. Like Joy Behar. You're taking, like, you middle-aged fat liberals, you middle-aged women. Christ, some of you are some of the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever seen. You take your political advice from a woman who legitimately sits there and says, I can't go to Europe because there's shit over there. I mean, it's so horrible. I haven't had a vacation in 4 years, but this Ukraine, you don't know what's going to... Bitch! You should have fell out of that chair and broke your fucking neck, you elitist classes, bitch.
Oh, man, that would have been
if Lindsey Graham's going to call for an assassination, make it that fucking bitch. She deserves it. She's an idiot.
Whoopi probably tripped her.
Whoopi's another one.
Yeah.
Another little black supremacist. The Holocaust was white-on-white violence. Oh, really, Whoopi? Really? Really, Whoopi? They were going after gypsies. They were going after black people. Shut the fuck up, you ignorant cunt. I am so tired of you fucking liberals. And I'll go on this little caveat. I listened to a clip yesterday. I forget who this guy is. Actually, you know what? I'm going to play it. I think I know where this guy's at. I'm going to play this. This dude fucking nail on head. Nail on head with this shit. Let me see if I can still find it. Oh, my God. This guy got me so hyped up. Let me see if it's still there. Please let it still be there. Shit, it's not. Fuck. This guy talks about how Biden goes before the State of the Union. And he says, we need to be united as Americans, man. Really? You want me to unite with the left? And I'm paraphrasing. And I've said this before. You want me to unite with the same people that called this a pandemic of the unvaccinated. Mm-hmm. You tried to cancel us. You tried to kick our kids out of school. You called us anti-vaxxers. You tried to ruin our livelihoods. You tried to financially bankrupt us. You tried to make us the outcasts of society. You talked about violence towards us. And you want me to unite with you are the fucking enemy. And then you fucking veterans on social media try coming after me. You're just being a divisive veteran, a bad reflection on the veteran. If you're a liberal veteran and you are pro-vaccine mandates, you are my enemy. And if you catch a bullet to the head, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I want no peace with you because you are not pro-liberty. You are not pro-independence. You're none of this. You are not for the rights of the people. You're for federal government enforcing laws that are unconstitutional. You are not the same. You're oath breakers. You're no different than the cops up in New York City shutting down these small businesses. You bunch of goddamn bootlickers. Fuck you and your uniform and your service. I don't give a fuck about you. You're just an antagonist. No, I'm just spitting the truth. And you want to sugarcoat it because you don't want to make enemies here in America. If there is a civil war, you're the first ones I'm going after. Fuck you. Sitting there calling for my family and the rest of that shit to be fucking cast out on these people would be sitting there applauding on Twitter if you were out on the streets homeless and couldn't feed your kids. You think they give two fucks? Well, that's what they get for being unvaccinated because, you're jeopardizing my safety. Where are you at now, you fat fucks? Where are you at now?
Look at them. They creamed them all over themselves about Ron DeSantis' wife.
Oh, yeah. And she was undergoing cancer treatment.
Undergoing cancer treatment. Like,
Now, where's Fauci now? Haven't really heard a lot from Fauci recently, have we? And like I said, who called it? It's slowly going to vanish.
Oh.
COVID's slowly going to go away. Because now, as long as we're looking at Ukraine and looking at this other shit, let's talk about COVID. And before you know it, it was brilliant for Biden to lift those mask restrictions when he did. It was brilliant. Because that was like the last nail in the coffin. Now COVID's dead. Let's just stop talking about it.
Look at that. And as Ron DeSantis goes out to give that speech, someone put all those kids with masks.
You see that fucking black lady with her son, after fucking interview? Because Ron DeSantis goes up there and is like, okay, stop.
You tell my son to not wear a mask. She's not wearing a mask.
She's not wearing a fucking mask. Like, you stupid cunt.
Spitting all over the kid's face.
Dumb fucking bitch. Dumb fucking bitch. And these bitches vote. You're sitting there, it's just like, and here's the other thing. Liberals are like, oh my God, DeSantis told them to take their mask off. He said, if you want, you dumb fucks. Once again, you manipulate the words to fit your own agenda because you've got a negative association bias towards DeSantis. So regardless, he could go out there and cure cancer. You're still going to hate him. So fuck you and your family.
Did you hear the interview with the kid? Did you actually hear the question?
I didn't listen to that
one. How did it make you feel? Did you feel like
I bet he loved
threatened?
it. Did he love it? What did he say?
The kid was like, he took a long time to answer, obviously, but he would give him the answer that they're goading for.
Yeah, he didn't want to go against them.
No, but they weren't like, did you feel like you had to take your mask off? Or I don't think the questions were.
I don't give a damn about his feelings. What did DeSantis actually say?
They were leading.
DeSantis legitimately said, you don't have to wear it. You take it off. If you don't want, you can leave it on if you want. It's like, but we're going to stop this theatrics.
Right.
Which, again, I don't understand that. Like, he gave them the option.
Yeah.
And he's not forcing anybody to do anything.
If he's going up there, somebody did that. Somebody did that shit on purpose.
Oh, 100%.
They lined him up right behind him, wearing masks.
Yeah, probably.
It wasn't a
But here's the thing. If you do want to wear a mask, more power to you.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Wear him.
That's why these turning point fucks going after Crenshaw, like...
If you're going to wear a mask, I'd wear like 8 of them.
Crenshaw did this meet or greet, and he was wearing a mask. Everybody's like, why are you wearing the mask? It's like, because he wants to. I thought we were for pro-liberty. It's when you're forced to I disagree with.
Yeah.
Why'd you make them wear that? He didn't make anybody wear anything. They wore masks. Now, if he did, he was wrong. I disagree, but I don't think Crenshaw would do that. But at the same token, I just see the same people out there screaming for liberty. And then when they're given that liberty, he's like, well, you don't agree with me and what I'm doing with my liberty, so you're wrong. He's like, no, I thought we were pro the ability to freedom to choose. If you want to wear a mask, wear a fucking mask.
That's the whole thing. As soon as the government told me what I had to wear, I was like, something's not right.
Exactly.
Like as soon as
but then you got Fleckes and the rest of these dudes going after Crenshaw on social media. This Alex Brussels moron, this fucking turning point blowhard. He's 24 years old. What the fuck do you know? Like seriously, what the fuck do you know? All these people are Trump loyalists at heart. Fleckes, all of them. All of them. These turning point grifters, they're all loyalists. They are. And they sit there. And if you don't align with God, King, Emperor, Trump, like they're doing, I'm watching. And it's not that I agree with Crenshaw on a lot of stuff. Like I disagree with him this morning in our conversation. It's like, but holy fuck, I'm seeing these things that if you are not in line with God, King, Trump, these turning point grifters will come after you and they're being paid to do it. This is dangerous. Mm-hmm. This is fucking dangerous. And Alex Brussels got some skeletons in his closet. I've got some of your old tweets, buddy, because not right too long before Trump got elected, you were anti-Trump. So you might want to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up because I'm tired of you. I'm fucking tired of it. And then you sit there. Why is Crenshaw wearing a mask? He has the right to choose. I'm sorry. I don't agree with it, but I'm not going to force my decision on other people. And then Fleckes and the rest of them. He's against Trump. Trump's not in office. Christ. Or the same for these other politicians. Like, oh my God, I'm so fucking over the partisan bullshit. Or the Trump loyalism bullshit. Because they would sell out. I talked to Andy Frisella the other day. I was like, you better watch out. You better watch out for these turning point grifters. Because here's the thing. When Trump went after the Second Amendment, not a goddamn peep from them. Not a fucking peep. You didn't say a word. Well, we're technically a nonprofit and we can't say things about policy. Really? You had no problem bashing Bernie, his policies. He's a sitting congressman. Oh, no, it's selective. You're not pro-constitutionalists. You're pro-Trump loyalists. There is a difference. You can still support Trump, but the Constitution comes first. Mm-hmm. You don't see it that way. You know why? It's about power and it's about money. It's about power and money.
The reason I like Trump so much was because he was anti-establishment.
He was, yeah.
He was the most.
There's a lot that I agree with Trump on. I do, but I don't worship it. I used to.
I just think it was
and then I had my eyes opened to the idea of libertarianism and constitutionality.
It was just the will of the people who, in one voice, said we're tired of the usual.
But now take what you just said though, because Trump was smart in how he did this, and now the Republicans are doing internally. And what Trump did, the reason why they love Trump so much, he speaks the voice of the American people. He talks, they could kiss my ass, I don't care. Yeah. I get that.
Had Ron Paul done that shit in 2012, then I think he would have been president because he was leading in all the Republican polls. I think he would have definitely.
But the point that I'm trying to make, though, is that Trump used the hatred of the left to his benefit. Yeah. He fought back against leftist policies that Republicans did not like. Trump was smart in that aspect. He spoke the language of the average American. He liked the fact that he would tell people to piss off. They liked the fact that he called Kim Jong-un little fat man. They liked that kind of stuff. But now, Republicans are doing that internally to where if you're not on board with the Trump train, they're going to come after you. Fuck them. Fuck them. There should be no centralized level of influence. It should be decentralized. Yeah. But again, unless you get Trump's endorsement, good luck. I'm hoping he wins. But Tony Cowden out of North Carolina, I think he just announced he's actually running for Congress out of 3rd District, I think. He's not going after a Trump endorsement, but he's going against this other dude that is a Trump, that he's seeking, Ed, I forget what he's a TPSU guy. Yeah. His father's got millions. He's 25 years old. I'm sorry. You're just too young. You're too young. I'm sorry. I think Tony Cowden's probably the better man for the job. Number one, he's been to a lot of these countries. Bo Hines, I think his name is. Okay. And I got no beef with this kid. It's not that I dislike him, but at the same token, I don't trust you. If you've got Turning Point under your name, fuck no. And I've said this. You go look at these congressional candidates. If they say in their bio, pro-Trump, that's a massive red flag. Or Trump endorsed, that's a massive red flag to me. And I know what you said. I understand to where if you want to win, you got to get Trump's endorsement. That means you better fucking kiss ass to President Trump. So if you have a disagreement on anything, you're not getting that endorsement.
See, but Trump did the exact same thing during his run for presidency. Yep. So some things he walked back, some things he ramped up. Yeah.
Which is fine. If you want to change your mind, I support that.
That's why he knew how to play the game. Yeah. He'd been dealing with politicians most of his life.
Yeah. And that's the other thing that I'm trying to get people to understand. It's like, I don't agree with Crenshaw on a lot of things, but I will love having him on the show to debate these things because here's the thing. He just got reelected. He's there. Yeah. He's in. So I'd rather work with somebody and try and get them to change it, which he's done. He's not pro 2A or he's not pro red flag anymore. And I respect that. I like that. He's legitimately, he's come out and said it. And I'm so fucking sick and goddamn tired of all these fucking internet trolls talk about red flag. He's literally said, I don't stand for it. He changed his mind. That's great. Tim Kennedy did the same thing. Wonderful. I don't think Kennedy actually came out and admitted it, but that's awesome. They changed their stances. That's fine. You changed them. So what if the people that are elected, to include Cruz and the rest of them, we say, hey, the people don't like this. This is what they want. Even Crenshaw told me he might change his mind on marijuana based upon our discussions. Wonderful. The conversation that I had with Crenshaw over stock trading made it up to fucking Congress. And it's influencing people coming out and saying, we don't want this anymore. And now they're talking about banning it. That happened as a byproduct of conversations. But many of you are too fucking stupid to realize that. The people that you talk to, even though you disagree fundamentally, you still talk to them, open those lines of communication to see if you can win them over and convince them differently. You don't just cut them off and say, fuck them. You try and convince them repeatedly. Other else, what do? You're backing them to a corner and they're going to double down. People don't understand that. And I try and preach it to them. Why are you having that Rhino on? Because he listens. He listens. And if we disagree, fine. Fine. There are things he's done I don't agree with. I will have Cruz on. I will have Marjorie Taylor Greene. I would have AOC on. But you people are like McCarthyism 2.0. Oh my God, if you don't agree fully, don't have them on there. Fuck you. Fuck you. You fucking closed-minded simpletons don't seem to understand how politics works. Sometimes you got to have conversations, and it doesn't mean compromising your values or your morals or anything like that. It just means having a conversation. Hence, why so many of you got your dicks hard for drunken debates. Oh, I'm doing the exact same thing I'm doing with Crenshaw. Oh my God! And you're loving it. You fucking idiots. You're so hypocritical, and you don't even realize it. And ultimately, what's at the root cause of why John Burke is doing this is to try and push more constitutional-based beliefs on other people and get them to understand and realize. That's all this is. So it's not John going out there trying to compromise his stances on the Second Amendment. I mean, for fuck's sakes, all the blowback I got of, oh my God, John Burke's talking to Dan Crenshaw. Oh my God, John Burke's... Bunch of goddamn chickens running around with their fucking head cut off. Have I ever, and I challenge every single one of you vet flakes out there, you turning point fucking actual rhinos, show me where I have ever compromised my Second Amendment belief. In fact, I've doubled down on it. Uh-oh. You're quiet. You got nothing to say, do you? Because outside of the fucking rhetoric you hear on social media by the likes of the Marjorie Taylor Greens and shit, oh, God forbid, John talks to people he disagrees with. I've invited people onto the show. I've invited Ted Cruz. Haven't heard back. Why? Crenshaw, no, I had a 30-minute conversation. We disagree on the Ukraine issue, but he does want to come on the show and debate it. He will at least. I don't see other people stepping up to do it.
Yeah.
At least this guy has the balls to do it, and it doesn't mean I'm going to turn my beliefs into what Crenshaw believes. Fuck me running. These people are just goddamn morons. Oh, just nuts to me. Just fucking nuts. I don't know. It's just crazy to me. And you try and get people to understand. You try to get them to realize, John, you got to stop caring what people say. I listen to people that comment. I read your comments. And the thing that blows my mind is I'd asked y'all for like a week in advance, Congressman Crenshaw's coming on the show. Like, what other influencer actually does that? Does Steven Crowder do that? Does Ben Shapiro do that? Do any of these influencers out there say, hey, guys, I've got this congressman coming on. What questions do you, the people, want me to ask him? And I read your questions, and the same retarded bullshit. Ask him about 2A. Ask him about red flag. Are you doing your research and seeing what he actually said? Or you just want to regurgitate the same stupid shit over and over again? Because he's come out and talked about it. I had him on. He's been on the show twice. First time I asked him. And then I post the episode. Did you ask him about this? I don't know. Did you listen? Or did you just want to run your mouth on the keyboard because you're too fucking stupid to actually listen? I feel like Andy Frisella sometimes. His last episode, I'm so tired of putting myself out there as a voice for the people, and half you fucking troglodytes that follow me, you don't listen. You don't fuck. So why am I doing it? Why am I doing it? Well, I forgot. John's not supposed to have, an opinion of his own. John's not supposed to have feelings. John doesn't get the ability. He's not afforded the right to get burnt the fuck out from dealing with massive levels of retardation via social media day after day after day after day. And I get fed the fuck up with a lot of you morons. A lot of you. I do. I'm open about it. I'm not going to lie to you. I got nothing to lie about. So here's the deal. If you don't like the way I do the show and stuff like that, then fuck off. If you don't like the way I talk to people I disagree with, fuck off. You go have Crenshaw on your show then. Oh, I forgot. Oh, this tea tastes so good. All right, let's get back on topic.
You know what helps me? Shell
Shock CBD. There you go. Whew.
I love it.
Whew. Whew.
Feeling stressed out?
You still with me, chat? You still with me, Lost Savages? How do you think I feel? I got no political home. Instead, we got to pick the lesser of two evils at this point. See what we can do to get the Constitution restored back to what it was intended to be. Get these 22,000 gun laws off the books, which is a fucking pipe dream. But still, lower my fucking taxes, all this shit. And here's the thing, and this is what bothers me. When you have a group of people in a political party that want to sit there and say, you better be in line with Trump and all this other stuff, that kills any room for somebody else to come in there with a more libertarian view like Tony Cowden. I would be very interested to see Tony Cowden debate Bo Hines. I would be very interested. Mm-hmm. Because when it comes down to church and state, the legalization of marijuana, I'm pretty sure I know where Bo's going to go, and I already know where Tony's going to go. Tony is pro-Constitution. If Bo is not, nope, don't want him. But if Bo gets that Trump endorsement because he's got connections to Turning Point, goodbye, Tony. Goodbye. New ideas being ushered in to change the GOP to make it better, to make it more pro-constitutional. But I wonder how a lot of these influencers actually feel when you say, hey, we should have a separation of church and state to respect the First Amendment, to legalize marijuana. It's your body, your choice. Ooh, I don't know about that. My religion says no. So then you're not pro-1A. You're not pro-Constitution. You're a theocrat. That's what you are. I love Austin Peterson's take on a lot of this shit. I love Milton Peterson's take. But everything is identity politics, even within the GOP. Everything.
That's politics.
It's politics.
So it's just, I think more people are waking up to that now.
And that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to do is to wake you up.
Shake the cage.
To shake it up, get your eyes open, give you breadcrumbs. Because, guys, I see this shit every day. I'm on social media. It's part of my job. I'm watching what's happening. I'm being fed information from all different sources. I have discussions with people. And I see it over and over and over. And it scares me. Just how much strength and power Trump has in the GOP. And that's not me condemning Trump and saying he's a bad person. It's me saying that's not what we need to get the GOP on the right track to be a more pro-constitutionally based organization and movement. Because if we were, and this is the outcome that I'm looking for, if we were, you'd bring over more moderate Democrats and you would shred the left. Isn't that what we want ultimately? That's the plan. That's the master plan. Bring more of the left over by being more pro-freedom. Now, a lot of them you won't, but it's those fringe minorities. That's going to make or break. Hell, a lot of these runoffs, it's some margins are up to like 200 to 600 votes. And a lot of these congressional areas, or a lot of these districts, it's insane. Mm-hmm. But that's all you need to win. That's all you need. Just bring a few of them over. Hey, guys, we got freedom and cookies, baby, and guns, depending on where you're at. Some illegal, some not illegal. Makes sense to me. That's all I'm trying to do. Get people to open their eyes, man. Open their eyes. We've been doing this for like 6 fucking years.
It's time.
God, that felt good. Right. I feel like I just busted a verbal nut.
Shake and bake. Well said.
Ukraine conflict heightens the risk of Chinese-American war, professor says. Russian-Ukraine conflict makes the opportune time for China to move on Taiwan, professor says. And we've been watching this. The conflict in Ukraine heightens the risk of war between China and the U.S. political science professor told Fox News. Michael Beckley, an associate professor of political science at Tufts University, said China could take action in Taiwan while the U.S. is distracted with Russian siege on Ukraine. I'm telling you, if China does, I get this feeling they won't, though, but if they do, you know damn well Russia was a front for China to take Taiwan. Or they had some kind of mutual agreement prior to this launching that basically said, Russia, you go after Ukraine, we go after Taiwan. You lead the way. After everybody's honed in on that, we go after Taiwan. I could see it.
Yeah.
China's the one to watch. I'm telling you, they are the ones to watch. The United States and China, I think, are at a very high risk of conflict. Beckley, the co-author of the upcoming book Danger Zone, The Coming Conflict with China, told Fox News, not just economic competition or ideological competition, but an actual war. Beckley told Fox News that a slowing Chinese economy, rising sentiments of Taiwanese independence, and increasing international pressure to contain China's growth make conflict more likely. There's a lot of chatter suggesting that if China is going to move on Taiwan, that now would be the opportune time, Beckley told Fox News. The Russia conflict plays into this because, of course, it's a big distraction for the United States. In October, President Biden pledged to defend Taiwan if China attacked. The U.S., under the Taiwan Retaliations Act, wait. I love this. The U.S., under the Taiwan Relations Act, provides defensive weapons to Taiwan if it is not obligated to provide military support if China were to invade. I like that. That's how it should be. We're under no contractual obligation to protect you. We can give you the weapons. You can buy them from us, 100%. But if you get hit, we're not coming. No. And we shouldn't. Because that's going to get us escalated in a lot of conflicts. You got to love this. Stacey Abrams, dude, the audacity.
I can't believe that.
The audacity. Harry Potter and the audacity of this cunt. Like, oh my God. And this is why, it sucks being in this position sometimes because we got enemies on both sides.
Yeah.
We got the establishment GOP. We got the fucking The DNC over here, we got the libertarians fighting amongst themselves, and here we are as the lost savages. We don't know what the fuck we belong to. It's just like, I just want constitutional freedom for everybody and stay the fuck out of these international conflicts.
They just want to get in power so they could award these contracts to their buddies and enrich themselves.
Yeah,
so I
100%.
think that, like their end goal is the same.
Mayor of New York, Eric Adams, did the same thing.
Yep.
Hunter Biden, same fucking thing.
Yep.
It's just like it's a trickle-down thing. The Bush is notorious for that.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy to me. It's fucking crazy to me.
Yep.
But hey, shh, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. Stacey Abrams mocked after comparing herself to progressives to Zelensky in Ukraine. Oh, oh my God. Can we just round these types of people up that think that they're the same and go drop them in Ukraine? But all right, bitch, here you go. You want to know what it's like to be shot at and lose people? Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, you fat cow. You idiot. We should force feed some common sense through that gap in your front teeth. Georgia Democratic gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams was mocked online after comparing herself and progressive Democrats to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and his people fighting off a Russian invasion. Abrams made the comparison while speaking with The Daily Show host Trevor Noah on her second gubernatorial campaign. "We are a stronger nation when we allow people to participate," Abrams said in the clip that has been picking up steam online. Oh, wait, shit. Hold on. I should have clicked that.
She did an interview on Trevor Noah.
Yeah. Why? Yeah, 100%. Oh, you know why. You know why. And if we ever doubted the war that Putin is waging against Ukraine, President Zelensky said it, and I'm going to paraphrase him, probably poorly. The Georgia Democrat continued. He said that this isn't a war on Ukraine. This is a war on democracy in Ukraine. Really? The democracy that was overthrown in 2014? Like, really?
Huh.
I mean, if you really... No, we won't get into that. But Abrams continued saying it is wrong when we allow democracy to be overtaken by those who want to choose who can be heard, and those choices are not based on anything other than animus or inconvenience. The Georgia governor candidate was dogpiled online for the comments, with the Heritage Foundation's John Cooper blasting Abrams on her signature issue with receipts. Should be noted that Ukraine also requires voter ID. This is Abrams playing the black card again. They hate black people. They hate black people because they don't let us vote. Bullshit. Then you turn around and suck the dick of the white liberal. Hey, man, if you don't vote for me, then you ain't black. Anything to say on that, you fat cunt? Anything? Nah. Not a thing. You fucking quack. I love this. John Cooper tweeted out, should be noted Ukraine also has voter ID, and he actually listed the document that shows this. Other users torched Abrams over the comment, with GOP Deputy National Press Secretary Will O'Grady pointing out that the remarks were made on Comedy Central, and Republican communicator Matt Whitlock called the comparison quite stupid. Yeah, Comedy Central. You really think Trevor Noah's a comedian? The guy's, number one, he's not funny. Yeah. Number two, bro, it's like saying Jon Stewart isn't political. Or like fucking, what's his little protege that he should never have given him power or got him...
They're taking these networks that are meant to, like, take your mind off of shit.
Yeah, and they're putting that shit on.
They made it into a propaganda for the Democrats.
Who was the one that did Colbert? Steve Colbert.
Oh, God.
He's a comedian. He should be taken seriously.
Terrible.
It's comedy. Bullshit. He made it political.
Yeah, they're all terrible. Not even a little bit funny. All of them.
Jimmy Kimmel, all these late night, they're not funny.
Nothing.
It used to be funny.
Used to, like 30 years ago.
Oh, God. Yeah. It used to be like Letterman, Leno. Actually, I didn't really find them too funny, but, they had to be kind of nailed.
Yeah, not even.
They had a little tongue-in-cheek stuff.
Yeah.
But now, like, oh, my God. Everybody gets offended from anything. You can't make jokes about anything.
They tried to bring Letterman back on, what was it, like HBO or Showtime or something like that, called Next Guest. My Next Guest is something. I don't know. But it was terrible. It was so boring. Yeah. It was unwatchable.
Yeah, because everything's become so politically correct.
He had Obama on one time and gave him fellatio on stage.
I don't doubt that, yeah.
Rim jobbed him.
Yeah.
And
then you got them up there like Jimmy Kimmel crying all the time, Mr. Blackface himself. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
I know, that guy's such a douchebag.
It's become so fucking just aggravating to see. All right, well, that does it for today's show, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get to work here at the Shell Shock CBD HQ. I will be doing a live stream tonight later on Twitch. We appreciate your love and support. Again, the live stream on Twitch tonight, we're going to cover more of what's going on in Ukraine, actual live coverage. So if you want to come over and support me on the Twitch channel, we really appreciate it. Download the Twitch app. Come over. It's The John Burke. Here is the link to that right there. Twitch.tv/The John Burke. Appreciate your love and support, guys. Also, make sure you check out Shell Shock CBD Shell Shock CBD. You can support us there using code Burke. We'll save you 10% off. We've got the Halo gummies. We got the Airborne gummies. We got the Rack Out gummies. We have CBD oil, very reasonably priced. We cannot thank you enough for your love and support. Today is Friday, so the next podcast will be Monday morning, and we're going to have a really good time. But don't forget, Drunken Debates, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. CST, where I'm bringing on people from the left.
Yeah, this is MT, by the way. Someone's asking. Yep. It's actually, we've got 3 different flavors. We got a Sleepy Time tea as well. That's lavender chamomile.
We've got orange, and then we have mint.
This one's very orange. They all taste really, really good.
Yep.
So
they're not like so overbearing you'll get burned out, but they are potent enough to where you can taste the flavor.
It's really good.
These contain 25 milligrams of CBD per bag. They are THC free. So basically, that lavender chamomile also is made just for sleepy time mixtures. Yeah. So again, if you don't like taking the gummy, you can take the tea. These are what, $20?
Yeah.
It's $20. Get 10% off using code Burke. Try the tea. It's wonderful. It's a great taste. It's got the CBD. So if you don't like taking the oil, take the tea. That's great.
Yeah.
So until then, we appreciate your love and support. Go leave us a review on iTunes for the podcast. All America Savage Show over there. It helps us out. We greatly appreciate it. Share it with your friends. And give me a follow over on Twitter at Sergeant Savage. Tweet me out over there. I make all my announcements on Twitter now. So until then, you got anything to add?
Thanks for listening, everybody.
And as always, you stay savage, America. Oh, giveaway. Tanker giveaway right after here on Twitch. I'm sorry. We're giving away 2 tankers on Twitch right after this. Don't go anywhere.